This is the city of Phoenix Mountain, which is a pretty awesome name for a place. The rebels were able to seize the entire south of Taiwan. The first temples to be constructed in Taiwan. That's a lot of turtles. I have no idea what's going on. Right now, I'm standing on the east gate of the wall for the old Feng Shan City. Feng Shan, the name, is made out of two words: Phoenix Mountain. So this is the city of Phoenix Mountain, which is a pretty awesome name for a place. It's not on a mountain, it's on the flat land, but still pretty cool. I'm very lucky I found this place, because it doesn't really show up on the map. Like, it's there, but it's not like one of the big bubbles that show up on Google Maps or anything. And I had no idea it was here, so I just sort of, I went down a street thinking, oh, I'll go down this way, see what's down here. And this is Feng Shan Old City. This is really cool. So this was built well before the Japanese attack on Taiwan. This one was built in 1721 during Qing Dynasty rule. And it helps illustrate sort of the kind of lawlessness that existed on the island of Taiwan during the Qing Dynasty. There was a saying that there was a minor uprising every 3 years and a major uprising every 5 years in old Taiwan, Qing Dynasty Taiwan. And this fortification here was built after one of those major uprisings where the rebels were able to seize the entire south of Taiwan. And the Qing Dynasty, well, there were no defenses back then, so the Qing Dynasty positions were easily overwhelmed by the rebels. And so in 1721, they built this city here to become the capital of the southern region of Taiwan. This is near the high-speed rail station in Kaohsiung. This area is called Kaohsiung, and it was quite strategically important at the time. There's this major plain around this area, the Kaohsiung Plain. There's some natural defensive barriers with several mountains in the area. So they built this city here, this fortified city, to protect this part of the country from the constant uprisings and rebellions in the lawless province of Taiwan. This is quite cool. It's like a primary school, I think. And they've like used the old city wall as part of the wall for the primary school. That would be pretty cool if you're a kid, I reckon. So this behind me, this is what I came here for. And the amount of times I've gone to look at something and it's under maintenance or construction, it's bloody frustrating. These are your dragon and tiger pavilions? Pavilions? Pagodas. Pagodas. I think this is the, yeah, this is the northern gate, I'm pretty sure. And as you see, these people that live within the city walls, they are safe from vagrancy and banditry. Whereas everyone out there, they're screwed. If the Mongols come, they're just screwed, mate. I mean, at least behind these walls you have a chance, right? If you want to be a if you want to be a tourist in Taiwan, a couple options for you. I think these are only in Kaohsiung, but these are like rental electric scooters you can get. And these are rental bicycles so you can use to ride around. Sometimes they have electric ones, which are really nice. If you want to do a tourism, there you go. Right, so this lake here, the Lotus Pond, we've got the pagodas here. These are fairly modern, these are 1976. But this lake itself is a man-made lake, constructed in the earliest days of Qing Dynasty rule around 1680. And in 1684, this temple behind me began construction. This is the first of the Confucianist temples to be constructed in Taiwan under the Qing Dynasty rule. Going inside, it's really quite fascinating. It's beautiful. There's lots of depictions of various deities and various stories associated with Chinese traditional religions. I have to be completely honest. Eastern religion is a subject on which I have very little knowledge or understanding. So there's a lot of depictions of stuff going on. I have no idea what's going on. So I'll read about it one day and then I can tell you. All right, sorry about that one. So as you can see, it's like the whole lake here is surrounded by various temples. It's kind of like creates a religious center for the city. Historically, the country was very south-heavy, like politically and population-wise, which is opposite to today, where most of the about a third of the population lives in the Taipei metro area, which is far, far north. Whoa, that's a lot of turtles. That is a lot of turtles. So behind me there's the spring and autumn pagodas, named after the spring and autumn palaces in China. This one was built in 1954, so again another fairly modern addition to the lake. And they have so many turtles. That's crazy. So, trying to read about this temple confused me. Just trying to read about the history of it when it was built and stuff, and people were saying 1624. This doesn't make any sense. They said like the Qing Dynasty built it in 1624, but in 1624 Taiwan was not ruled by the Qing Dynasty. It was ruled by the Dutch, so it didn't really make any sense to me. But it sounds like a family built a temple here in 1624, and then that fell into disrepair, and then this was built in 1973. So it's not an ancient temple or anything, but it's pretty nice. I liked it. Right, well that is the lotus pond in Kaohsiung. I wish I could tell you more about all the temples and stuff, but the religious aspect, again, I am just astonishingly ignorant when it comes to the actual religion itself. Alright, so this is the mouth of the harbor. You can see we've got the lighthouse back here. So this is an old artillery fort that was built to protect the mouth of the harbor. What I can gather is that this is one of the forts that was built as the Qing Dynasty were trying to, begin their full colonization of Taiwan in response to Japanese incursions on the island. This was built in 1875, right after the Japanese intervention into Pingdong. So it says here the Takao Lighthouse, Takao. Well, where is Takao? Wow. The name for Kaohsiung, it was originally comes from an indigenous name, which basically means like a heavily bamboo forested area. So the indigenous people called it that because there was a big bamboo forest here. And then the Japanese took the indigenous name, and because Japanese language uses traditional Chinese characters, they wrote the name in Japanese, Takao. And when the Qing Dynasty took over, they took over the name, but they kept the Japanese, they kept the same characters, which in Chinese became Kaohsiung. So this is interesting to see. It's all in an exhibit about the Japanese invasion of Kaohsiung. Now this flag here is the flag of the Formosan Republic. The Formosan Republic was a Taiwanese republic that was very short-lived. It was declared after the Chinese ceded Taiwan to the Japanese. A bunch of the literati on Taiwan declared that they should form a new republic, the Formosa Republic, right? And this Formosa Republic resisted the Japanese invasion very briefly. There were a few battles that were fought, but eventually the Japanese were able to overwhelm the Formosa Republic, and it didn't take long for the leaders of the Formosa Republic to flee to China.